Hey, in this video, I will show you how to do long tail keyword research specifically for Shopify stores, and you will leave this video with the ability to, in 5 or 10 minutes, generate thousands of relevant potential keywords for your store. And you can also use this for any other type of site as well, but this is tailored to a Shopify store. So the first thing, couple definitions just to make sure we're on the same page. A long tail keyword is a specific longer phrase that users are more likely to search for, and they typically use these when they're closer to purchasing or finding specific information. So as an example, a shorter tail or a broad keyword would be something like women's boots. A long tail keyword would be something like women's waterproof hiking boots. So the benefit and the reason to use and identify and research for long tail keywords is because they have higher conversion rates, there's lower search competition for them, and it's targeted search traffic. As you can imagine, somebody searching for women's boots is not as likely to know exactly what they want as somebody who's searching for women's waterproof hiking boots. Now, if somebody's just looking for women's boots, it doesn't mean they're not a buyer potentially, but in most cases, somebody with a or using a long tail keyword is going to convert higher and will likely result in a sale more often than a broad type keyword. So the other benefit of doing long tail keyword research is when this is implemented properly, you can begin ranking for keywords immediately after search engines index the content. In the case of if you have a put up a collection or a category or a page about women's boots, it's going to be much more difficult to rank due to the level of competition. So here's an example of work that I did for a client, and we did some long tail keyword research to figure out and identify keywords that would make sense for them to rank for. And as soon as this content was indexed, some of these searches or some of these keywords you can see here, search with 1,300 search volume per month, 4,400 searches per month, and immediately went from this 101 plus was the initial ranking when we started tracking the keywords here. And these went from basically not indexed in the top 10 pages of Google onto page 3 and 4 and 5 in some cases for some of these keywords here. So that's the benefit of keyword research and doing long tail keyword research to identify keywords that would make sense for you to rank for and then also convert for. So how do you do long tail keyword research? The general steps here would be to step 1, identify your target audience. Step 2, use keyword research tools, which I'll get into here in a second with you. Step 3, analyze your competition. And step 4, brainstorm and expand. So that being said, if we look down here at building your content strategy with long tail keywords, I have an example screenshot here using SEMrush, and the key phrase, the broad key phrase is jewelry. And we'll get into that in a second here. And then I'll show you some filtering as well. So let's do that. If we look at jewelry in SEMrush here, now the key here is to find a broad keyword or phrase initially. And the reason for that is we can then use that broad key phrase to drill down and filter the keyword list more easily. If we instead search for something more long tail initially, we're limiting our ability to find some of these potential keywords. So you can see here, when you look at a key phrase like jewelry, you have 1.1 million keyword variations here. And if we look at questions, this is where I like to start from a content perspective. And this gives us an idea as to content that we can not only put on product pages, but also create new content for. So if we look at the questions specifically here, and we view all 73,000 plus keywords here, total search volume for these long tail keywords here is 827,000 searches per month. Now, the value here is really when we start to filter this data. So if we look here and we want to, let's say we sell a lot of silver, or we just want to work on optimizing the silver collection or silver category of products that we have. So now if we look at any keyword containing silver related to jewelry, we have 2,300 keywords, total search volume of 22,530. So it's still significant here. Now the other benefit and the other filter we can run is to look at and find keywords that are longer searches. So something like how to clean silver jewelry, you can see here, big search volume and relatively competitive. But if we look at a filter here to include words that have, or phrases I should say, that have at least 6 words in them, now we filter that down a little bit further, only 2,000 keywords, and the total search volume here is 15,600. So again, this is something that as you're doing this research for your business and for your market, you would understand a little bit better about what makes sense for you. Do you want to just look at sterling silver? You can filter through these keywords here, and you see 401 keyword opportunities, total search volume 2,900 per month. And then the one other filter you can do within SEMrush here is to click on keyword difficulty. And this is a metric, their metric. So it's not a true metric of difficulty in terms of what Google says, but any of these tools have their own variation or own version of keyword difficulty to let you know how it's an estimate of how difficult this keyword would likely be to rank for. So you can filter through that as well and get an idea as to what keywords would make sense. Now, the other thing then is once we have this list initially, is figuring out what would make sense and how to group these keywords. So if we just go back to silver here, and I've actually already exported this list here, but you can, again, do this filter yourself. But let's just say for the sake of this video here that we want to look at these 100 different keywords here. So you can export this list and then go into, let's just go back to the presentation here, and then we can start to organize this list. So in ChatGPT, I already have this typed in. I'm going to copy a list of keywords, organize this list of keywords into relevant groups so I can build a content plan using specific keywords and phrases in each article. So you go into ChatGPT, you type that in, and I've done that here. Press enter, and then it says give me the list. And then here's the export of that list. So let me just copy all these keywords here. And again, I only did 100. You can do this with as many as you want, but ChatGPT sometimes will time out if you have too many. So we go back into ChatGPT, paste the list, and let this run. Now, while that's running, we can actually look at a couple other filters in here. And you can also, if you don't do anything with turquoise, or if you don't want anything about gold to show up in any of your silver keywords, you can also do excludes in this list here. So if we do gold, apply, it filtered down and removed anything that had silver and gold in the list, and now we have just silver specifically. So again, there's a lot of filtering we can do in here, and a lot of information we can get, and a lot of information and keyword opportunities we can get quickly using something like SEMrush or SEMrush. So as we go back to the list here, let me zoom this out so we can look at it a little bit better. Now we get some ideas as to where and how we can build categories for content within the site. So cleaning and maintenance would be a category, and you can see here how to clean sterling silver jewelry, how to clean silver jewelry at home, how to clean silver plated jewelry, and so on. You get the point. So you could have a main category page for cleaning silver jewelry, and then figure out and filter through which of these keywords would make sense to focus on in that page, or which of these would make sense to create individual articles for. And then identification and quality, how to tell if jewelry is real silver, should I wear silver or gold? So this was before I ran that filter to remove gold. Mixing and matching, jewelry making and buying, and then general queries, is silver or gold better? Then you can obviously have yearly searches here as well. So this can help you filter and sort the list. There's still going to be, you're still going to need manual sorting to make sure that it makes sense from a brand perspective too. And then you can also do searches here to just list me the keywords that contain tarnish. So from that list here that I imported, now we can get a list of any keyword or phrase that just has tarnish in it. And then if you wanted to have a page about tarnishing, or tarnishing silver jewelry, or why does it tarnish, or how to clean, or any of those types of things, then you have this list here of keywords that actually make sense potentially to rank for based on keyword research from SEMrush. Now, the other benefit here is as you get this list of keywords, you can begin to implement these into Shopify for you. And there are 8 different ways or 8 different primary ways that you could implement these types of keywords. One would be to optimize your product titles and descriptions. So you would incorporate these long tails naturally into your product titles. And some of these, if it's too much of a long tail, it probably would not make sense to include the entire long tail key phrase into the title and the description. But if you've done keyword research and it makes sense to have something like how to clean tarnished jewelry, or how to clean sterling silver tarnished jewelry, or tarnished sterling silver jewelry, there we go. That would make most sense. than just including a keyword like this into the title. So you have to think about this from a user and a human perspective as well as you're doing keyword research, even if the search engines tell you something otherwise, because it would likely make sense for somebody to search for the keyword that way. And search engines are smart enough to understand that if you have a key phrase in there and one or two of those words is moved around, there is still an opportunity for you to rank for that keyword because you have what's called a broad match or a partial match into the title. Next thing would be blog content. Like we've been talking about, you have the opportunity to and the ability to create content based on the keywords that you just found within the research document. Optimize your categories or collections. So this is something that I see a lot of times where a collection page, specifically with Shopify, is not optimized at all. So making sure that you have the collection optimized specifically for the keyword or phrase that you want to rank for within the title, the description, and then also add some content on that page as well. Use long tails in the meta tags, so title, description, and image alt text like I just mentioned. And then leveraging user-generated content. This is something that would depend on your relationship with your customers and the type of business you have. But if you have the ability to mention to your customers to explain about and talk about the actual product they purchased, that's something that can help as well from a review perspective. And so somebody would type in something like, I absolutely love my handmade silver charm bracelet from your store. The customizable charms made it so unique and special. So this would be something where they are providing the keyword value and it's showing up in the user-generated content or the review. Use long tails in URLs. So this is something that would likely be for a product page, potentially for a blog page or a blog post, I should say. Optimize for voice search. So something like an FAQ section where somebody would type in something like, where can I buy a customizable handmade silver charm bracelet? And again, some of these examples here are extremely specific. It may not make sense to have something, where can I buy a customizable handmade silver charm bracelet for women or something like that, would probably not make sense for an FAQ type section unless there is a lot of search volume for that. And then lastly, internal links. So if you are creating blog content or blog articles on your site, then linking to those products or collection pages would make sense, and using something like how to choose the perfect handmade jewelry from that blog post to your handmade jewelry page would make sense and would help Google or search engines understand what that page is about, and then likely help you rank better as well. So that is the process generally for doing long tail keyword research for Shopify stores. And the gist here is that with using something like SEMrush here allows you to find thousands or tens of thousands of keywords and keyword potential for your store in a matter of minutes. And then it's just a matter of filtering through that list and then creating that content. So hopefully you got some value from this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.